Good times are coming, Spurs fans. While the older generation, like LeBron, is busy deciding where to take their talents next again, and some of the new kids are already politicking for power before lacing up for their first real NBA minutes, there are still players who see things through a very different lens. In a recent interview with Maxime Aubin for L'Équipe, Victor Wembanyama said, "I know that not every player in the NBA has the same ambitions, but it's obviously my dream to spend my entire career with a single franchise, here, in San Antonio." And if that quote wasn't good enough, here's more. Wemby also revealed he's officially recovered from the blood clot in his shoulder. "I'm officially cleared to return. It just happened. I got the green light from the Spurs medical staff just a few hours ago, last Friday. Whew, I'll finally be able to play a bit of basketball again." Veteran reporter Don Harris confirmed the news and added this. Not only has Victor Wembanyama been cleared to play, but he's been participating in open gym runs with his Spurs teammates the last few days in Las Vegas. So now the real question hits like a bounce pass to the gut. What is it about Wemby that's truly rare? Yeah, sure, he's long, like skyscraper and sneakers long. He's 7'5", and word is, he might still be stretching taller. And yes, the game's got layers when he touches the ball. Blocks, dimes, coast-to-coast dribbles that make physics professors wince. But that's surface-level stuff. Flashback to his first season. Do you remember when one guy from Houston, Canadian-born, now traded, saw Victor up close and said, "He's tall, that's really it"? That wasn't analysis. That was fear pretending to be confidence, and ignorance too. Because just tall doesn't give you 21, 10, 3.6 blocks, and almost 4 assists at age 20 on a losing squad where every defense is geared to stop you. That's not height. That's freakish poise and something deeper than data. But even that, the production, the potential, isn't what truly sets him apart. It's the mindset. While some players spend their off-seasons building brands or posting cryptic tweets, Wembanyama spent this summer in Shaolin, not working on his three-point shot, not filming documentaries, working on his inner self. "I wanted to understand how to master myself, my body, my emotions, my thoughts," he said. That's monk talk. That's not typical number one pick behavior. Which begs the next question. Who else in this rising generation of talent is voluntarily choosing discipline over flash, choosing silence over spotlight, choosing depth? Look, Wembanyama isn't just physically gifted. He operates on a different intellectual and emotional level. He isn't asking for trades, he's asking for trust for his partners. He's not looking to win right now. He's laying a foundation to win consistently. And he's not expecting his team to show ambition. He is the ambition. That's why his connection to the Spurs feels so natural. Because the roots run deeper there. Vic shares the values Greg Popovich has instilled in San Antonio for more than 2 decades. Humility, accountability, patience, and team-first mentality. Wembanyama didn't become a Spurs fan by accident. He grew up watching Tim, Manu, and Tony. Not just for how they played, but how they carried themselves. He admired the culture, the quiet confidence and belief that greatness is built, not demanded. So when he says he wants to stay with one franchise for his entire career, he means it. It's not lip service and not PR, it's who he is. And yet, just a few weeks into his rookie season, sports talk shows began to sound the alarm. If the Spurs don't trade for a star soon, Wemby will leave. They're wasting his prime. Get him to LA before it's too late.
What the fuck is this?
All of this after less than a month in the league. It's absurd, and it says more about the current NBA discourse than it does about Wembanyama. The culture has become addicted to instant gratification. Everyone wants results now. Everyone wants the next super team. But Wemby isn't playing that game. Here's what he said when asked if he was frustrated San Antonio didn't chase a big-name star over the summer. "No, I don't think so. Breaking up your entire core for a single player rarely works. And the Spurs are masters in the art of building teams without having to go out and get too many big players, or having to sacrifice the balance of the group. The early months of 2025 were a turning point for Victor Wembanyama, and not the kind Spurs fans were hoping for. After a phenomenal stretch in the end of 2024, when Vic was playing at near MVP level, his numbers started to dip. The shot wasn't falling, the energy seemed off, and for the first time in his young NBA career, he looked human. What initially appeared to be simple fatigue was soon revealed to be something far more serious: a blood clot in his shoulder. The team moved quickly, shutting him down before the end of March. It was a frightening diagnosis, maybe not career-threatening, but serious enough to put the brakes on his superstar future. Without him, the Spurs entered survival mode. They could have tanked, and nobody would have blamed them. Their best player was sidelined indefinitely, and the team was already buried in the standings. But San Antonio didn't fold. They fought. Games were ugly, and wins were rare. But the identity never slipped. The system held, even as the talent gap grew more apparent by the day. Then, out of nowhere, lottery luck. Despite having just the 8 best odds, San Antonio leaped up in the draft lottery and landed the number 2 overall pick. It felt surreal. Some called it luck, others called it karma. But in the Spurs locker room, it felt like a sign. They had weathered the storm. Fast forward to today, and the view could not be more different. Wemby is fully cleared to return. He's scrimmaging in Vegas. He's smiling again. The team around him is deeper, sharper, more versatile. With the number 2 pick, they grabbed Dylan Harper, 6.6, smooth as jazz and cool as an early morning layup. And then at 14 came Carter Bryant, a wing with a wild streak on defense that already made him a fan favorite. And that wasn't all. In free agency, San Antonio brought in veteran shooting and front court toughness. Luke Kornet and Kelly Olynyk carefully building around Wembanyama without disrupting the internal culture. These weren't panic moves. These were calculated steps forward. Just a few months ago, everything looked cracked. Now it looks like the real beginning. The contrast is striking. A few months ago, Wembanyama was sidelined. The media was predicting doom, and the future seemed uncertain. Now, the Spurs have a franchise cornerstone healthy and locked in. 2 elite prospects entering the fold, and a locker room full of players who know exactly who they are. The darkest hour came and went, and now the sunrise is here.